So next up, I want to introduce somebody who's dear to my heart. She's a local business person. She was a Bernie delegate who went to the Democratic Convention in Philly. She works with Represent Us and Election Justice. And in her spare time, she's running for U.S. Senate District 10 against Denny Heck. Congress, sorry. Congress. And one thing I want to say, I think she's going to talk about representation. And I want people to know, if you don't know Tamborine, I'm going to tell you this one thing about it, which is, once she stands up for something, she does not sit down ever.
True.
She does not back down, and she does not back away. One of the things that we've been talking about is our representatives, and how they don't stand up to moneyed interests or lobbyists. And I can guarantee you, not only will Tamborine stand up to them, she will sit them down. Tamborine Borrelli. Hey.
Wow, what an introduction. Well, it's really great to be back here in Carolyn's home. We were here in December and we had such a good time. And anytime, every day, people come together unified in what's right and what's just is a powerful thing. Because, as Keoki mentioned, what elected representatives won't do because they have conflict of interest, the people can do because there's power in unity. Any individuals that say, and we actually were just talking about this a minute ago, that if we all just started talking amongst us, we could find things we disagree on because we're human beings. And that's what I believe that those who are opposed to principles like single-payer health care and other principled issues, how they're able to do that is because they understand if they get us to focus on what we disagree on, then we're fractured. And because then we're fractured, we're powerless then. So anytime there's a gathering in the name of something so, immutable as health care, right? Because we all need that, regardless of what our beliefs are of any myriad of subjects. We all, can we not, agree that healthcare is absolutely, it's not just a coined phrase, it's the truth. It is and should be a human right. No one should have to fear being thrown out of their home or going bankrupt because they or someone they love fell ill of no fault of their own. But there are thousands, tens and thousands of people tonight that will be on the street. Men, women, babies, children, veterans, because of the lack of our healthcare system. We have the largest economy in the world. And yet we cannot provide that one simple principle that other countries do gladly for their citizens. We have been the richest country for the past 100 years. And yet our life expectancy continues to be on the decline. So the USA, say, of all the poor people, right? 30% of what we would consider people who are in and living in poverty have health issues, right? For those that are not in poverty, only 12%. 12%. That is a huge, huge disparity there. The U.S. is the largest in income, health, and wealth disparity So I just, and I'm not going to take long, because sometimes I can be a little long-winded because I get passionate about something and then I just lose track of time. So I'll say why I'm here is I need to, in my soul, I need to be someone that represents. Since I was little, I always was for the underdog. I used to have fantasies of, back in the 70s, we had the Super Friends, and it was always my fantasy to be Wonder Woman, and I love the idea of like-minded people coming together in the Hall of Justice, right? To fight the forces of evil for the betterment of humanity. So I still have a little bit of that in me, and I feel like we all are the underdogs. In this game, we're the underdogs because profit and greed reign supreme. And principles like healthcare get shuffled around, and we're told that it's impossible. How are you going to pay for that, they say. If we can come up with $700 billion for an already bloated military budget, we can surely come up with the means. There's plenty of abundance to take care of our own. So, in closing, I just want to say that, living in the 10th Congressional District, which we are standing in right now, as a citizen, the current representation that we have, and if you live in the 10th, we currently have a representative, Denny Heck, who on many issues, Jeff will be the first to tell you he's an expert and has compiled a voting record of our current representative. Now, aside from the fact that it is less than progressive, Medicare for All is something that he adamantly does not support. He has told us, myself personally, and Kiyoki, in 2 separate occasions, that not only is he not going to co-sponsor it, but he feels that we're wrong because we feel that it's important. And that further, he has his own mind, and we, those that are the voters, those who are supposed to be the ones employing him to what?
Represent.
Yes.
Right? Where I just want to really bring this home because it's all connected. I want to just connect the dots because it's important. These things are all tied together in why it's such a fight for us to beg for something like single-payer health care. Somehow, some point, it got turned around. The concept, the essence of representation. The fact that it can be said, I have my own mind and you're not going to change it. Well, you're supposed to represent what we want, and we all want, we can agree, we want and need health care, right? So I say to you to please, wherever that you live, find, if it's not me, find someone who's running in this election, and if not this one in 2020, because there are those running, those that have nothing to do with politics. I'm not a politician. I'm just standing up because it needs to be stood up for. Find someone who is going to fight for this principle of health care, because until we put our time, our effort, and our money, even if it's a little bit, right? We won't ever get what we want until we replace those people who arrogantly look at us and tell us we can't have what we want. So I say that. If you're inspired, please fill out our volunteer or just to be on our email list so we can keep you abreast of our fight for this. And, any chance that you get,
please stand up for this, because there's many things that people just like us have accomplished throughout the history of this country. And they were accomplished because those that came before us refused to sit back down and to give up. So if we continue to embrace each other, hold hands, and refuse to give up, we will, in fact, be victorious on this. So thank you so much for allowing me some time.